We now move towards home. We began from home in the morning with Mr. Kaul. We now again come back to AIC with a very prominent and eminent personality who has been in this field and with the ICB for many, many years. There was a time when he used to celebrate his birthday with Mr. Kaur at EICB and lunch with us. I don't know whether it still happens. Yes, I'm talking about Dr. Vikram Dutt, who is also now our project officer for two of our projects, which are sponsored by Danish Association of the Blind, under which this workshop also is being held. Those projects are to do with community-based rehabilitation, but Vikram's work goes much back, and Karin, because he's a close friend also, goes much, much beyond AICB. It goes much beyond disability. It goes much beyond also social sector. He has been a professor in a college affiliated to IP University. He has worked in the area of films and documentaries. He has been a media person. He writes very well, and he has worked with a number of organizations across the social empowerment sector. Today we'll have Vikram talk about NGOs and community engagement. As I said, he's looking after two of our CBR projects and doing very well in those projects. The projects are really coming up very well, and we are meeting our targets. So thank you, Vikram. I must share with you, Vikram also has been busy last 2 days in conducting another workshop at AICB on personality development. And he's finished that at 3:30, 4:45, and then joined us. That's the kind of commitment we have in Vikram. Thank you very much for being with us, Vikram. The floor is yours. We hope to wind up around 5. So
Yeah.
perhaps you could speak for around 20, 25 minutes, and we could have 2 minutes for questions.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And to take off from where you started, my birthday this year was not celebrated at AICB, but I was in the project area, and my field workers surprised me by bringing a cake on my birthday. So the tradition of celebrating at AICB remains.
Good.
And it was a pleasure to listen to Mr. Mahantesh and the journey of blind cricket. And thank you, Mahantesh. And thank you, Anil, for this wonderful opportunity. So since my topic is NGOs and community engagement, so I will speak specifically giving reference of the sort of community engagement that AICB is indulging in at this moment, and use that as a model, which can be easily replicated if so desired. So the essence of the AICB community engagement lies in what we call the CBR program, the community-based rehabilitation. I don't want to talk much about it because it will be like taking coal to Newcastle, because all the participants here are specialists in rehabilitation and all are associated with AICB in one way or the other. So the essence of our program is in involving all the stakeholders, particularly the blind and partially sighted persons themselves in the decision making. That is the important thing. We get them in the decision making, because our community is the community at large and the community which is specific to us, that is people who are blind and partially sighted. This is the philosophy of all AICB programs, and we follow a rights-based approach as against a charity model that has historically been in place in the NGO sector. So when we use a rights-based model and involve the community and our stakeholders of BPS themselves, then there is a total community acknowledgement. It is important to acknowledge that the inputs of the program management, and in AICB case, the program management consists of BPS persons of distinction who have demonstrated that the determination to succeed against all odds is the key to unlocking the closely guarded and protected doors of success. Ironically, these doors of success in community, in society at large, are usually guarded by non-disabled and by sighted people. So unless we involve them in the project, unless we involve them in the decision making, the community engagement will fall by. It is also important that with poverty and illiteracy and lack of awareness amongst the rural BPS persons, it should be explained to them constantly in every meeting, whether one-to-one or small group or community meetings, as also village level workshops, that the entire approach is rights based, that the whole program and therefore the desire to involve the community is led by the blind and the partially sighted people themselves, not only nationally, but even internationally. The perception that the BPS leadership actually employs those from the community in its community work of community-based rehabilitation goes a long way towards changing attitudes of local government officials and local community leaders like the Gram Pradhans, who are actually the key to making changes at the village level. So while community participation is a large sounding phrase and can include things even at the national level, I am limiting my current presentation to doing it at the village and community at the local level, because that is where the strength of our program lies. And since this is DAB sponsored, Danish Association of the Blind sponsored, the philosophy of the Danish Association of the Blind is to move towards an inclusive, rights-based society. And that rights-based society can only happen when NGOs like us involve the community through our CBR programs. In this interaction with the community, we need to always remember that women tend to be neglected, or they are not given their due place of equality in society. When a woman is blind, she suffers from a double handicap. They're not even acknowledged, and sometimes they're concealed when we do our surveys, and even surveys tend to pass them by. Since the BPS women are not presented by the family members, they're concealed by the family members carrying out the survey. So to ensure community participation, our CBR team has to be alert and have to play a critical role in enabling services to reach the women. Unless we have a specific function, a specific philosophy, a specific aim, a specific target of gender equality, there is no community participation worth the while. So AICB is committed towards gender equality, and through this workshop and through my presentation, I am appealing and reaching out to all our affiliates and all those attending that please do pay specific attention to women who are being concealed or being ignored and eventually not being in a position to avail of the benefits that our NGOs are involved in. Since we have a rights-based approach, since AICB has a rights-based approach, we have to facilitate the creation of self-help groups in the communities. Once we are able to get these self-help groups together, which we call chapters, then the community gets involved in all the activities. Just yesterday, only yesterday, in one of the areas where we are working, the district welfare officer received a grant of as many as 62 smart canes. And he had no knowledge of how to distribute it. So he appealed to AICB, and all the 62 beneficiaries were our clients those who are currently our clients and those whom we have already rehabilitated. And can you imagine at one shot, because of good community participation? Community participation means involving the local government officials, that the government invited us. And lo and behold, so good is our community participation that the district welfare officer made our local project officer, Sudhanshu. Many of you may know him, Sudhanshu Shukla. He's been with us for 22 years. They made him, elevated him to the role of guest of honor, and he distributed 20 of those smart gains. That is the level at which, by involving the stakeholders, of which the government is definitely one, by not looking at the government as those who impede our progress. In the NGO sector, we often tend to think, government wale, what are they? They only block our progress. But it is not so. We need to cultivate them. And they are also human beings like you and I. When they see that good work is being done, and it is being done in an organized, systematic way, systems are very important. So when we engage the community, which includes the local government officials, when they see a system that is visible, they respond very positively. So my earnest appeal to all our affiliates and all those who are not AICB affiliates, but are partners in progress towards an inclusive society, my appeal to them is kindly involve the local government officials. They are our most critical community members because they have the power to help as well as to block. So yesterday's example is a good example of the local divisional district welfare officer appealing to us. Of course, the appeal came 1 week ago so that everything was lined up, but the function took place yesterday. So what is very important? What is the key to success of this community engagement? The key to success is our community-based rehabilitation personnel, who are our field workers, who are our grassroots workers, who are often neglected as small fry, but they are the essence of community involvement. Every program is only as successful as the efficiency and systems coupled with the commitment of the field workers, which includes the program staff and program management as well as the international funding and partner agencies. Therefore, when you have proper systems of reporting, of financial transparency, of applauding good work, and being able to point out areas of improvement, I don't call them areas of weaknesses. Anil yesterday took an excellent session on communication in our personality development program, where he talked about the gentleness of words. So therefore, if we look at our areas of improvement and not call it weakness, so the area of improvement is better relations with our stakeholders, which includes the local government officials. The BPS persons, their families, and the community of the BPS, which means the village elders, opinion makers, and the local decision takers. The local decision takers are the Gram Panchayat Pradhans and the members of the Gram Panchayats. So what we have done to involve the community, we have a system by which we select people, train them in activities of daily living and orientation and mobility, and all other such activities which make them independent. But we believe that the real essence of independence is economic independence. So we make efforts to start income generating activities for them. So every quarter, every 3 months, in our project areas, we select a total of 32 BPS persons and empower them with income generation activities through giving them some seed money. This helps them establish a small shop or buy goats or do some small agricultural activities. Many buy buffaloes and such activities, which gets them on an average about 3,000 rupees per month. So it becomes very important to be fair, impartial, and transparent in the selection of these 32 people every quarter. So in this selection, we have established a grant selection committee, which includes the Gram Pradhan or his representative, which means the ward member or the Gaon member, Kisan member. And so the Gram Pradhan, the village community, gets involved from day one, right from the selection and training process. We invite them to see it, to witness it, and to often be a part of it. Thus, the local community, the village elders, get involved with us. Another very simple way of involving the community, we have done it quite successfully in the recent past, is that when my BPS persons gets the bus pass entitles them to an escort, who is usually a sighted person. So we have encouraged them to go to the Kumbh Mela, to go to the Sangam in Allahabad, and take along with them a sighted person from the village. So the word spreads, "Are yaar, Vikram ji ke saath jao, free mein ja paoge." And so the goodwill towards those who are visually impaired and the understanding of the community that people who are BPS persons can actually contribute to the social fabric of the community. This is very important. So who does this? Who is the executing authority? I loved Mahantesh when he said, it's like a minister with MPs, and then you have the civil servants, the IAS. Our IAS is my field worker. It's the field worker who is the ambassador of AICB with the community. And what is AICB? AICB is the ambassador of people who are blind. And who are the people who are blind? They in turn are ambassadors of those who are persons with disabilities. So my key functionary is somebody whom I have neglected usually, my field worker. So at AICB, we make an effort to empower the field worker by giving them small little incentives. A great incentive that our president Anil Aneja himself initiated was that in these days of COVID and poor physical communication, we established and gave them all phones with video calling and gave them a year's 2 GB per day network free. They talk to me almost every day. We have set up a routine by which the blind community, the village elders, the field workers, the project officers, they all speak to me. So I receive on an average about 30 calls per week, and that involves the community and therefore the NGO through my CBR field worker. The field worker carries the telephone with the video and enables a very close interaction with the community. And somewhere in the background and in the subconscious is the fact that all this is happening because the client is visually impaired. That is a very important issue. Therefore, when they do all this, awareness in the community is also created about the People with Disability Act. How is this created? When our field worker ensures that everybody gets the UDID, the Unique Disability Identification Card, because of which they become enabled for bus passes, they enable railway passes. Recently, in the month of July, the Delhi High Court passed a judgment, which is now applicable pan-India, about free ration to the BPS. The village people get subsidized ration at 2 and 1 rupees per kilo of wheat or rice. But for the BPS, it becomes free. So the UDID, the Unique Disability Identification ID, is the key to the process. The field worker is an employee of AICB. So the NGO actually through its field worker creates this community participation. Community participation is also specific. The government officers, the local pradhans, the local bus conductors, the bus drivers, they're all part of the community. They all understand that these are self-respecting people who now have these rights. So through our community participation, we are also able to create community awareness. And my field worker also assists people with disabilities to come together to form self-help groups. This needs a lot of basic leadership skills. So the NGO, if it empowers its field workers, spends time and little resources on training of its own person, the spillover effect is that the community at large is hugely influenced. Now, the local officials include one very critical official, and that is those who control finances. That means National Handicap Finance Development Corporation officials and the bank officials. NHDC doesn't give the money directly, they route it and channelize it through banks. So my advocacy officers in the field are specifically ordained, mandated that they must meet at least 3 bank managers every week and follow them up constantly. During my visits, I too visit even the small one-person banks. The result is that if one senior regional manager understands what's going on, the spin-off effect reaches out to the whole community. In my last visit, I would like to mention this name. His name was Mr. Kushawa. He's the senior regional manager of the local Aryavrat Bank, which is the bank which has the maximum branches in the rural areas. And our visit to him was so successful that within 3 days, his branch manager, a one-person branch, I give the name because I would like the name to be publicized, Chandrabhan Singh, a young 26-year-old Masters of Computer Applications who's manager of a one-man branch of Aryabhat branch, handed over, rather transferred electronically, 25,000 to one of our clients. That is community participation. Who is the key? My humble field officer. We tend to neglect the field officer. And Anil, as my president, who empowers me and gives me a free hand to train them the way we want to, Anil, I appeal to you to emphasize this point to all our affiliates of AICB, that our humble field officer has to be empowered because it is they who deliver for us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so what is our field officer doing or our field worker doing? He is providing local effective leadership. The field worker creates the partnership with the family. The field worker creates the community ownership because he goes and visits the panchayat. He uses the local resources. Local resources not in terms of money, but in terms of knowledge. Udhar jao, if you go to that corner of that village, or if you go by the side of that well, you will find that there are some people who are blind, who have nothing to do. So use the local resources. And who uses it? My field worker. So we have to build the capacity of our field worker and political support. Always make an effort. You don't need to cultivate the local politicians. That's too much of an effort. But be careful to steer clear of them. For instance, in one of the areas that we work, it is well known that there is a local don. And most of the buildings which are available for local offices, etc., are controlled by him. So we quietly took one of the buildings on rent and invited one of his cohorts to come and inaugurate it. So we don't require his help, but then there is total non-interference, which is what we require. So by getting NGOs and community involvement, we are actually addressing people with disabilities and their families. That is our first part of our community. The second part of this community is the local government officials. And
If
alongside,
you can finish in 2-3 minutes, we can have
yes,
time for questions.
I am winding up now.
Yeah.
So how do we improve our field performance? So the NGO on its part must have a very strict structure, which we call a logical framework analysis, which lays down a weekly activity plan. And when we train our field staff, I, on my part, also receive a weekly activity report from them that I have visited so many clients today, and this has been done. When we are able to empower our field worker with little bit of technology, one computer at the field office, then we are able to directly engage with the community. So this is what I wanted to say. And there is an indicator. It is called the SMART technique. SMART stands for S for specific. You have to be specific in terms of orientation and mobility. It has to be measurable. The field worker has to be given tasks which are measurable. It should be attainable. These tasks should be attainable. And they should be relevant. They're relevant to improving relationships with the community and improving the status of the BPS persons themselves. And it has to be timely. So if we use the SMART technique, the engagement of NGOs and the community really becomes meaningful. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Anil, for giving me this opportunity. I'm now open to any questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Vikram, for this wonderful presentation on the work of AICB and your contribution to it. Where I just mentioned that rural rehabilitation and involving the community at that level, where there's hardly any sensitization, hardly any education, hardly any exposure, is both difficult and critical. Critical because, as Vikram said, that the field worker, the last person working in the area, if he or she is not attended to, cared for, all our work will go to naught. It will be of no use because the structure is such that we depend too much on a person whom we often tend to neglect. The empowerment at the grassroots level, rural level, where more than 70% of visually impaired persons stay in the country, is perhaps the key to empowerment. And thank you, Vikram, for a wonderful work that you're doing. Really, appreciate all that you've done in very short time. You have joined us in July, today we are in March, or 9 months' time, but you've done wonderful work for us, and we really appreciate that. Any questions?
Anil, just a little comment, maybe on a lighter vein. When God has given us the power to create a baby in 9 months, I have been given the responsibility by you and AICB of already nurturing babies.
Okay, so any questions? Muthu, you take over the session from here.
Actually, it's not question. Actually, I'm very much, in fact, carried away by the kind of involvement that AICB is doing in the rural districts. Obviously, in Kerala, the involvement that is required is of a different kind because here the local self-governments are working more effectively, and the basic literacy level and accessibility level is different. But still, there are a lot of issues, and I think from the kind of deliberations that I've received from Vikramji, I'm sure that we need to chart different other approaches to tackle the existing issues. So in that way, this was a very, in fact, a very challenging session for us. Obviously, I will share this with my friends, and I'm sure that the insight that your session gave us, definitely we will chart out different new strategies to tackle the issues that are quite different from what you have there amidst us. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
In fact, that's a very important point, that whatever we are sharing with you throughout the day, we've talked about many things. This is not meant to stay with you. You have to then share it with the other organizations, talk to them, and see how you can perhaps then change the working of your organizations in the light of whatever you have learned. As I said, next Sunday, we are going to make you prepare a plan of action for your organization in the light of what you have learned. It could be one activity, two activity, whatever we tell you at that time. And then we're going to follow up that because we need to report to the funding agency the changes which have come about. So the workshop doesn't end here today or next Sunday. It continues for 6 months, 1 year, and maybe forever. So please ensure that whatever we share with you is shared with the organization, with the organizations, and and conduct a mini session, half day, 1 hour, 2 hour, to share all the learning, whatever you may think is important or which you think you can implement, and some new ideas, some new information you must have got. I won't say may have got. I'm sure every presentation was so wonderful that there's not to learn. Please share that with your organization. Muthu, continue.
And
Sir,
Anil, if
another
I may
question.
suggest, Anil, if I may suggest, since it's the days of online, if we can be of any help anywhere, if we are just a phone call away.
Correct. Yeah, that's true. No, of course, even we are always there at AICB in South India. Muthu is doing a wonderful job. We expect others also to take on the lead. That's another purpose we have. That now some of you should come out as leaders, take responsibility in your organizations, and tell us also if you want to get more involved with the AICB activities through your affiliates. Because our work is through affiliates, but we do take those who are come through affiliates and have the skin and the resource and the willingness to work. As you all know, we've been told a number of times today, Mr. Kaur mentioned, I also mentioned after that Muthu attended one such workshop in Mrityunjyoti Tusai, which we conducted, and I was the resource person. I was one coordinator there. And you see where she is today after that, from that one workshop to today. So everybody has the scope to progress, to get involved, to be a part. It's all open. The willingness and the initiative has to come from you. And we are looking for leaders because organization, AICB in particular, but in general also, I would say, the visual impairment sector and the disability sector depends on you in future, not on us. And you need to take on the leads. The leaders have to emerge now so that you can get trained and learn. If today I'm the president of AICB, it's after 25 years of work with AICB. It didn't start on day one. 25 years, right from a committee member, small committee member, wherever then. So you have to begin now and have that training and experience. Everybody requires it. We all need to go. If you have the desire to contribute to society and feel that that is worth it, please come forward through your affiliates and we'll be happy to involve you. And we request the affiliate leaders also to explore who are the people who can work with you, who are the people who can work with us through you. Because our strength is affiliates. And whatever capital will happen through affiliates, we are very clear on that.